are back this week, and I can't believe we are on episode 10. It's absolutely insane. I think you can hear the change within just the confidence in speaking and the comfortableness that I've gotten to that point just within 10 episodes, which obviously it's been 10 weeks. So I'm ecstatic. Every episode I'm just like, oh, new milestone, consistency, just all of these things. But welcome back, and today we are talking about fear and doubt, something that I definitely struggle with, and I'm just ready to hit the ground running with it. But let's go ahead and start with the thing you're grateful for this week. This week I am grateful for being able to be really active this weekend. So last episode I mentioned I needed accountability. One of my listeners reached out and love it. I love the interaction from the community on this podcast. And she's like, I'll be accountable with you. And I'm like, all right. So we have been for a week now working out. So yay. And so Saturday and Sunday, my husband and I got to do a lot of housework, and it was just amazing. I was on fire with doing things, and it felt amazing. And my daughter got to see that active side of me. It was just so good. But anyways, give you a few moments. Alrighty. uh, as you can see, if you are watching the YouTube, I have a different little setup. I feel like it's a lot cozier, and that's what the podcast is aiming to do. So let's just jump into it, shall we? Fear and doubt. I want to know what you think when you hear those words, fear and doubt. I know personally it just resonates with me. I think my whole life there was always a sense of fear, even to today, which I'm really fighting to do now, is just there was always fear of something not being enough, not doing enough, not achieving anything, and that all tied into my identity. And that's just not right. That's not even close to right. Your identity lies in something so much deeper than you can imagine. Your worth and your identity just go beyond comprehension for us. It is just beautiful. Each person and their gifts and their just being, it's just, it really brings joy to my heart for anyone just listening. You are worth so much. I just start with that. And so fear for me, I started grasping, I think, it more after I had my baby. A lot of stuff, if you've noticed, happens after my baby. That I think that is something that God designed for us to realize when we have our kids, and even in marriage. You find so much more about yourself. So the whole I have to find myself before getting married and having kids and settling down, I don't really believe that. I think there is a sense and a level that you can get to, yet when you're entering into your vocation and your seasons of spouse relationship or motherhood, whether that's spiritual or, actually having your own kids, I think that there's just a deeper level of getting to know who you are, because these people that you live with didn't live with you your whole life. And so much starts getting noticed that was just swept under the rug your whole life. And the fear of taking risks was something that I can say now the enemy, of course, tried to put into my head and mind. I have this voice and I have this mission that God has put on my heart, and it was just shushed by the enemy for just so long. I mean, I can even recall when my husband and I were engaged, the fear of having braces, like that was gonna make any sort of difference when we got married, of waiting to get married to get my braces off so I wouldn't look like a child bride in pictures. And then the reality of that didn't matter. There was a bigger thing at stake. And so, anyways, that's what fear ends up coming up for me, is not being able to take those risks that I want to, that I deeply desire to do. And once you recognize the fears in your life and start rooting it out, like getting to the roots, your confidence level and everything in your life starts making sense, having more clarity. There's just a pep, I guess, in your life. And it isn't just acknowledging the fear and being like, okay, it's there. I can't do anything about it. It's doing something about it. Like, why would you want to live with that fear? And I think that it's easier said than done, rooting it out. I believe that you have to have good community, good friends, good family surrounding you. I'm a big, big believer in community. I talk about it very often as well on this podcast. And having that good support system that actually wants to will the good and love you and wants to see you succeed. Yes, succeed, whether that's in tiny ways or big ways. We all have missions in our life. And so it's a hard pill to swallow because I was that person on the end of getting this advice. I'm currently taking coaching lessons for my podcast, and I can just see the transformation in my life, and that fear is disappearing slowly. I am able to just kind of take charge of my life in the most humblest way, and knowing what I can do and what I can't do, and all the things that I can't do is something that I need to give up to God. And things that I can do, actually doing them, actually taking steps to them. And so, how does doubt play into fear? Well, it's like, oh, I can't do that. Like the working out situation. Can't do that. I injured my toe like not too long ago. Now, there are injuries that do stop you from doing that, but I have a really good friend who I saw on her social media, which is great. It's J Lover, and hopefully having her on the podcast soon as well. She's pushing. She is getting down and deep and pushing. She's very motivated at the gym, and right now she had some kind of injury on her shoulder, arm, so she can't do too much like upper body working out. And I hope that the recovery, like she's recovering. But she's like, so I'm doing legs. I'm not stopping. I'm gonna keep going. And that's where we all want to be in whatever we're doing, in whatever that we're being called to, or whatever we're being passionate about, in whatever work we do, even in motherhood, even in fatherhood, even as spouses. that is work. If you think that it's all laid back and, oh, those problems will solve themselves, you got another thing coming. So, doubt is tied into fear with, I don't think I can do that. Nope. And thinking those thoughts and saying those thoughts out loud, it comes true. Let me tell you how true that is. Saying, I had an awful day, even if you did, okay? Even if you did, just changing the wording of you saying that can make a big impact in your life. My coach, thanks to her, I did change a lot of my wording around my house, and it just was like a light bulb of, wow, a lot is being unleashed here, and it doesn't feel like the same thing over and over again of dreading something or overwhelming or whatever that is. It plays a part into doubt and fear. And it's so crazy to me how I lived most of my life going through that. I always heard don't be afraid, but I never understood what was behind that, of how do I not be afraid of something. Even with my faith and even with that growth in my faith, I was always wondering, how do I not be afraid? I pray. I know that if God's on my side, I shouldn't be afraid of anything. But I'm human too. So it's like, okay, what do I need to do to change that? I think that is one of the places you would need to start if you want to get rid of fear in your life. Now again, we're human, it's gonna happen. Fear and doubt is part of it. But it's acknowledging it and then having that action right behind it to be able to say, no, like, you're not gonna rule over me anymore. You're not going to take my gifts and passions that I can serve to other people, that I can personally grow in as a person, maturing. It's just everything. And so it brings me joy to hear this, because I was a little nervous to talk about it, because it was one of the biggest things I struggled with. And I think it had to do with, like, the voices in my head telling me, you aren't worthy, you don't deserve that, you have done nothing in this life for anyone. And those are really big lies. And I get very emotional saying those things, because those are things I truly believed for a time. And it's just not true. It's not true when you know you were made for more. We were made for a purpose. And I am just excited to see every single one of y'all be transformed the way I have. That is my hope. That it will always be my hope for my listeners and for those that don't even listen to my voice. But I definitely want to take a second to just breathe. I want you to breathe, because that's heavy. Those are probably lies that you've heard as well. Whether that was maybe family that made you feel that way, or a voice in your head telling you that. Now take a second and think of something that you so desire that is good. Let's say working out. I keep using that example because it's just, it's a common theme right now. And do it. Map it out. See what comes up. See what steps you need to take to do it. Conquer that fear. Take that risk. And once that happens, something new unlocks within you, or something you're hiding within yourself, maybe not purposefully, is going to shine into others' lives and your own life. Now, how do you do this, right? I would say set goals. I did advise a friend once that a planner always works very well. I'm the type of person that has to write everything down. So, planners have different types of templates, or you can just do a goal sheet every week. Pick a day out of the week and write down 3 goals that you want to accomplish that week that are actually doable, not ones that you might feel are too big or are more long term goals. Little short term goals for the week, like washing the dishes every day. Keep that a goal, keep that. And that consistency ends up flowing into the other things in your life. And then visualizing that success. How would it feel to do the dishes every day? How would that make your life easier the next day or even the week? I've allowed the dishes to pile up, confession time, um, for like 3 days. And once I'm done doing them on that third day, I'm like, why didn't I do this every day? It just doesn't make sense, right? So I think that goals would help you conquer those fears. It could even be a goal such as going outside, breathing the air. If you are feeling stuck at home, I know I have a lot of stay at home moms right now that listen and are scared to go out. I think the world has made us fear that, the going out with our kids. So many scenarios pop into our head as mama bears, right? And so just going outside, taking a fresh breathe, breathe the air, the fresh air, and just find something that will motivate you to get you to go outside. So I believe that that is something that is attainable for this week to come for you. And I hope that you're able to dive deeper into yourself. Not in a selfish way, but in a way that, what are my gifts? What do I have to offer? And it's so hard to ask yourself that simple question. And maybe you're confident and you kind of already know. But it's okay to ask yourself, what do I have to offer others? What do I have to offer? What is the better version that I am being called to be? Because we are called to be that. Holy men and women, we are called to be saints. And I truly believe that that is the best version of ourselves if we allow it. So, yeah. I hope to see y'all next week and that you got a little taste of fear and doubt and that you're able to overcome it in some way, shape, or form. Tune in next week. I'm really excited to see what my brain and ideas come up with for the upcoming episodes. And thank you for, again, all the support. I know I already say this, at the end of my episodes, but it's just something about saying it at the end of recording. So, yeah, bye.